All right, so we're talking about big, massive human beings, right? Well, let's talk about the mountain. Round 4, pick 111. Browns took offensive tackle, right tackle out of Ohio State, Dawand Jones, 6'8", 374 pounds, 21 years old. Massive human being. Justin, what was your thought when we took him?
I'm kind of surprised.
Okay.
When we took him, I was surprised just because I thought that, and Derek's talked about it, but I thought there was other needs. I thought we were for sure going to go either linebacker or safety. But am I upset with the pick? No. I mean, I know this kid is a right tackle, but we don't know what's going to happen with Jedward or Wills. I mean, if I'm the Browns, this is a big prove-it year for him. I don't think we can continue to see the same effort and play that we've seen the last few years. Now, can you move Conklin to left, or do we have to figure out something else to get this guy on? But I like the pick as far as what it means developmentally. We kind of talked about it. You have the best offensive line coach in the NFL on your roster, on your coaching staff. Get this kid in there with him and start coaching him up. Me and Derek were going back and forth, just laughing about it. He sent a video of a kind of, him just falling all over the field as he was trying to, a very talented edge, kind of out techniqued him. And
fourth string defensive end for the Seahawks.
There you go. That's my thing on it. This is another pick. Like, if you read stuff on the internet, the fans don't like it. And to me, I'm like,
I don't know. My Twitter notifications, people are hating on me. So.
Oh, man. So to me, just because of positional need, I guess, people didn't like it. I like it. We can't continue to pay $76 million contracts forever, and that's a big thing. I know we have Teller and Conklin and all these guys wrapped up for, the next 2-3 years, but eventually you got to get a little young. Honestly, I think this kid can probably push some other guys down the depth chart too, as far as like Hudson. But if you can get this kid coached up, I like this pick a lot.
Yeah, one thing, and I'll do a little bit of positive notes on here because I think Derek might go a little bit the other direction.
Yeah.
But, PFF was talking about him as being a tackle that you want if you have a mobile quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's got that massive frame. He only allowed 5 pressures on 419 pass blocking snaps. I do not believe he gave up a single sack last year, if I'm not mistaken. And, going into the draft, the NFL actually did have a first or second round grade on him. Whether that's, accurate or not, that's kind of what they had going into it. It's what the profile says. And we got him in the 4th round. His comparison is Trent Brown. I mean, with Bill Callahan, he could have a bright future. But Derek, why don't you give us maybe a little bit of a different perspective on Dawand Jones?
Okay. So, yeah, everybody is at my neck on my thoughts on Dawand Jones, but I want to explain myself because I haven't really had the chance to explain
Now's
myself.
Your opportunity, buddy.
Exactly. So I want to say this. First of all, I'm sure you guys as well, but I watched every single snap Dawand Jones has taken at Ohio State. I have never really been that big of a fan of him. And I want to clarify, when I say that, it's not because he sucks. This is not somebody who's just awful and has no talent at all. Dawand Jones, for me, a lot of his game is predicated on his size, which makes a ton of sense, right? Because you're a massive dude, you're going to use your size. But my problem with Dawand Jones is more so at the next level versus in college. Because when he saw the better defenders in college, he struggled. At the NFL level, he's going to be facing those guys on a regular basis. He struggles drastically with the shifty, bendy guys. And that's something, and it's weird because just because he's big, he's not slow. I talked about it in a video I did yesterday that Siaki Ika ran, I want to say, slower than Dawand Jones in the 40 time, or at least
it was a 5.39. Jones was a 5.35. So yes, Jones was a little faster. Yep.
So Dawand Jones at his size, which he is a lot bigger, was faster than Siaki Ika. And so you can't really say it's a size thing for, some of his negatives there, because there's a lot that I like. First of all, he's a great run blocker, right? Which fits the Browns. So I like that. He's great when you get him out in space running at his size. You're not going to stop him. You can't stop a man moving at that size. So I love that. His pass blocking, I don't like at all, other than one thing. He is fantastic. And I wish we were in the studio so I could show you, visually. But when somebody puts your hands on him, right, he does the wipe move, which a lot of the bigger, longer NFL tackles do, and just pancakes guys. He is fantastic at that. The only problem is it does not work consistently. It's just when it does, it's great. It's one of those highlight, offensive tackle things. For me, I think this is a very much a project pick. I don't see him having any role for the Browns for at least 2 seasons. And it's confusing to me. It's confusing to me because, Justin, you mentioned it, there was really good safeties on the board. There was really good linebackers on the board, and you punted on that to go with a project right tackle. I don't believe he can play left tackle. I know some people who do think that, but I don't know. A part of me thinks he's fool's gold. I've watched him for a long, long time, and I do see traits. This is by far the biggest boom bust pick that Andrew Berry has ever made. Because if he hits, he's one of the best tackles in the NFL. If he doesn't, I think he could be down there with some of the worst tackles in the NFL. It just depends. But like you said, what I'm clinging on to is he has improved at Ohio State over the course of his career here, and he's going now to the best offensive line coach in the NFL, to an offensive line that already has a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope for the best. So there's some I do like a Dawand Jones, but there's a lot I don't like and a lot that I'm very, very concerned with.
Okay. Well, he'll definitely be one guy that we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on over the summer through training camp and preseason and all that, because like you said, if he hits, man, the potential is absolutely top of the league potential. And I'm actually got some highlights in the background playing here on my computer screen. I'm seeing him, highlights of him in high school playing basketball. That the kid can move. He can definitely move. He is athletic. Yeah. So I think that's, if you're going to swing for the fences at that position in this draft, that was the guy to do it with.
And it wasn't a very, as far as tackles, weak draft. Extremely, extremely weak draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far, if you look back over the years, usually first, 15 picks, there's usually 5-6 guys that are, off the board. I didn't even know if there was, off the top of my head, I don't even know if there's one that went in the top 10, let alone 15, except for the guard from Northwestern.
You're talking about offensive tackles in the top of the draft?
Yeah.
There was a couple.
My best couple. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
know what I mean? Usually it's very, very, there's a lot.
You might see a couple go back to back and things like that.
Paris Johnson.
The other Ohio State tackles.
The Bears took the Tennessee kid. The Steelers took Broderick Jones, and then the Titans took Peter Skoronski. So there was a couple that went the first round.
Good. Okay.
Well, seeing the Oklahoma tackle too, by the way, they replayed the draft on the NFL Network. I forgot. The Oklahoma tackle went to, I want to say, the Jets or something like that at the bottom of the first round. So yeah, there was actually a couple tackles taken.
Okay.
Well, I think that was a good. There's obviously pros and cons with all these guys, all these prospects. I mean, nobody, like we said Friday night, nobody's a sure thing. Yeah, so that's a good analysis both ways for Dawand Jones.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.